Hey, how you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey, and I want to welcome you to season five of Life and Basketball. And here on this show, what we do is we take basketball as well as life, which are both synergistic with one another, and we just talk about how a little orange basketball has often helped change and or save someone's life. And so we talk to athletes, former athletes, coaches, former coaches, officials, former officials, as well as individuals that have been a definite value piece within a game of basketball. And so tonight, the show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy. All right. You see it on the wall, Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy. We'll get into that later, as well as you see the bundle, you see the book bundle. Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. The show was actually birthed from this book. All right, my first book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. The show was birthed from this book. And then this is my second book. They go hand in hand like ebony and ivory. All right. So I'll let you all know how to get these a little bit later. So again, my name is Coach Carvel Bailey, and what I do is I help high school student athletes to be able to get recruited by college scouts, even if they're not a five-star athlete. So it's a lot of things that I do, and we'll get into that tonight. But first, the first thing that I want to do is I want to welcome everybody to the show, and just type in your city and state where you're coming in from. Drop some things right now myself. So just let me know where y'all coming in from. We got some good things going on this season. We got some good things going on this season. One of the first things that I can say, one of the first things that I say is I'm gonna give away one of these tonight. I'm gonna give away one of these, and how you can enter into the raffle is simple. Along the little ticker down low, along the little ticker, you see our email sign-up list. So our email sign-up list is where you get like special privileges, you get special insights to things revolving around the show, as well as things that's happening with our business, as well as our brand. So all that you have to do when you subscribe to our mailing list tonight, you get you enter into the drawing to get a free book. And at the end of the show, I'm gonna have my daughter. So I'll be able to see everybody that has opted in to our list. And everyone that has opted into our list will enter into the drawing. And before the show is over, we'll do a raffle and we'll pick a winner live. We'll pick a winner live, and off the air, I'll be to get your information and then mail you out a book. So, Life in Basketball, season 5. Where do we go from here? It's been a long 7 months, long 8 months. And so tonight's show is broke down into 3 parts, right? It's broke down into Bailey, right? So this is kind of the state of the union, right? But the state of Coach Bailey, the state of basketball, as well as the state of my brand, okay? So we're going to start with me, and then we're going to move it forward so that you all can understand where the show has been, where the show is now, where the show is going. And then we're going to give you some practical tips to move forward. All right. So first thing first, again, when you're coming in, let me know what city and state you are from. Exit out of this. All right. This is, bear with me, y'all. Bear with me right now. I'm doing this on the computer instead on the phone as normal. All right. So the last time that you all saw me, it was actually episode 45, right? 45. And so we have been gone for about 3 or 4 weeks. and came back, and we had Coach Cyrus McGinnis on. Great show with Coach Cyrus. But prior to that, we had done 44 straight episodes. Pooh Man, what up, Pooh Man? What's happening? Hey man, share this out, spread this out. This is Coach Choice is in the building. All right, Coach Choice is in the building. If you don't know him, you should know him. All right, Pooh Man. Okay, so we had done 44 episodes during the pandemic. And so I heard something today that made sense and brought everything into play also, right? So during the pandemic, you can either execute or you can make excuses, right? So people see obstacles, other people see opportunity. And so now during this whole pandemic, I understood what I could bring to the coaches, to the parents of athletes, as well as to the athletes during a time where everyone was home. In the process of doing those 44 shows, in which the show sometime, because I wanted to be able to give back to my viewers, sometimes the show went 2 hours, sometimes the show went 3 hours. And that was taxing, that was stressful. And yes, sir, Tate. We are back, baby. We are back. Coach Harris, that's my man, Coach K. So no one, everybody saw, had Coach K on the show and, some other great coach, a lot of great individuals, 44 episodes. And the pre-work, everybody saw this. Nobody saw the pre-work. And again, obstacles, opportunities. I figured it was an opportunity to be able to be a blessing during an obstacle of this pandemic, right? So I'm spending an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours on the front end, on the pre-work. Then I meet with the guests. I'm taking you all behind the scenes right now. I meet with the guests. We talk 15, 20 minutes before we come on to the show. Because, this is a personal and professional development show. So we want to feed the viewers. Then after the show, right now, I interact with everyone that has commented throughout the show and do some other things. Well, 44 episodes was taxing. And so here's what happened. I'm human too, right? I have a family, and I was neglecting my family because I wanted to give back. But also, as coaches, right, we're human. As coaches, we tend to shoulder the weight of what's around us because we're leaders, right? As coaches, we're leaders. So we shoulder the weight of what's around us. So shouldering the weight of what I felt is around me, I'm like, okay, let's do this for the people. And let's do it 4 or 5 days a week. Well, then I believe the first riots hit, right? That at my point, right? And we had a show where myself and there was 3 other coaches, and we were talking about like at this point we just weren't okay. So much unrest, right? And so I'm saying this, right? Point 1, to my athletes, to my coaches, to my parents of athletes, right? Number 1, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. So me understanding like, hey, I need to kind of bag up for a minute because pandemic, you got civil unrest, police, misconduct. I need to zone in on what I need to zone in on. And so I said, let me just pause, let me just take a break, because I'm putting in about 5 to 7 hours a day to produce and put on this show. So in doing that, I had to then get back to understanding what I do and who I am. And the reason why it was frustrating to me, because once all like the riots and everything broke out, as a coach, I've always said that athletes can control any school, athletes can control any community, athletes can control any environment. Why? Because people look up to athletes. One. Also, there are more athletes within a school building, probably more athletes within a community, probably more athletes within a state than everyday folks, if that makes sense. And so I've always wanted to give back to the athlete, the student athlete, and to help them to grow as individuals, and then be a conduit to their teammates and those around them, to then be able to multiply the righteousness, if that makes sense, right? So when all of this started happening, I got real frustrated, because I said, like, where are the athletes at this point, right? Where are the athletes, not just the NBA players, but where are the high school athletes? Where are the college athletes? The ones that should be able to have a voice and speak to their peers and say, okay, let's come up with a plan, a strategic plan, and be able to kind of now push our agenda in a different way. So it frustrated me, right? It frustrated me, like, man, where did I go wrong, right? I kind of, again, as a coach, took it on my shoulders, like, where did I go wrong, to where our youth out here are like wilding, right? So I had to say, okay, let me just take a step back. And then I took a step back, and, you know, I got into me, and I got into like what was causing the anxiety, what was causing the frustration. And I had to really like go back and dig into me. And so I came upon this instrument that has been around for about 100 years, called the DISC assessment. And I actually took the assessment as a coach 4 years ago at the Junior NBA Under Armour Conference. And I took the assessment then, and it really made sense. I understood why I did certain things as a coach, right? Why my practices would be so long, the same way, like, why my shows would be for an extensive, amount of time, why I did certain things the way that I did, and why I was as successful as a coach and beyond. And so all those things tied together. Well, once all of this started happening, I said, let me just bag up from what I'm doing here and let me get into me and more human behavior, right? What makes people start to act the way that they act, and when they act the way that they act. And so in learning about me, I understood, right, that I am a person that creates systems, helps people with systems, more analytic, right? More systematic. And I move at a nice pace, and I want to see things all the way through, because I don't want to have to go back and do them over, right? So when I feel like we're going backwards, then it frustrates me. So I had to understand me. And then once I understood me, then I said, okay, so I wound up taking the assessment again, now just personally. I took it right 3 years later, now personally. And then when I started understanding it, and then I became certified and being able to teach it, and then I passed the tool on to my wife and on to my kids. And like, just the home environment is so much greater. Our minds are working together. And it's just been beautiful, right? So the state of Coach Bailey it was like, okay, it's time to come back because people were saying, even in the summertime, we were in our backyard actually, like we bought a little pool for the kids. We were in the backyard, and a gentleman, like I believe he was from New York somewhere, and by way of Atlanta, and he walked over with one of my neighbors, and he was like, "Are you Carvel Bailey?" And he was like, "Man, I watched the show." And so it's reached so far beyond, right? But I said, okay, now's the time. Let's come on back and let's make it bigger and better. And let's really, really get the people what they want. But let's do it a little bit different now, right? Let's help people not only understand about basketball, right? And understand about like professional development, but now let's help really with the personal development. Let's really help individuals throughout the show to understand more about who they are and why they do certain things in which they do when it comes to basketball, officiating, coaching, whatever that may be. And so that's what we're going to bring the show this season. All right. So that's Bailey, right? I'm rejuvenated, fresh, ready to rock and roll. Now, state of basketball. Y'all know me. Y'all know I always got my notes. The state of basketball, I personally believe, Coach Bailey, that over the next, like, it's no better time to really be alive as a basketball player because I really believe that within the next 2 years, these are the 2 years that the non-5-star athlete wins, right? This is the time that I believe because, everything from virtual learning to, athletics, everything is starting to put everybody on an even playing field. What a lot of parents don't understand, a lot of coaches don't understand is that, and definitely what a lot of athletes don't understand a lot of time is that the playing field is not always even because I was at a Division I college in the city of Chicago, and we didn't have as many resources as another Division I college in the city of Chicago. So there are differences, right? And more resources. But now people have about the same amount of resources, give or take a few. So what happens now? Now it comes down to who's the more intelligent player, who's the better player for the long run, right? Who understands the game, not just who can play the game, but who understands the game, who brings value to the game, right? So now, where some of those 5-star athletes they were able to stay 5-star athletes or be 5-star athletes because they're given things different than 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, or 1-star athletes. Does that make sense? But now, if they don't have those same resources and they have to rely on, let's say, natural talent or natural ability, well, now there are those 2, 3, 4-star athletes that have the same, if not better, ability as some of those 5-star athletes. So I believe the state of basketball at this point, I believe, and I don't like to use the word average, because I think the average is like negative in my eyes, right? Don't be average. I tell my students all the time, I tell my kids all the time, right? Tell my clients, my athletes all the time, don't be average. So we don't want to be average. But I believe at this point, the common athlete, I believe that the common athlete is going to win and win big over the course of the next couple of years. And now there are a lot of parents, a lot of people that are like losing it, so to speak, right? Because some of the rules some of the recruiting times have been put off. And so, right, parents are like going crazy or, well, not going crazy, but are very nervous about their student athletes being able to get recruited. And, the transfer portal is full and athletes being able to get another year back, right? All of those things are of concern it's good concern for the parents of the high school student athletes. However, what is going to put your student athlete, I'm talking to my coaches as well, what are you going to be able to do to put your athletes in position to become that recruit for that particular program? Right? All programs are looking for something. All programs are looking for something. Now the athletes just have to know who they need to become. But I believe that the common athlete is going to win and win big, right? Because all the athletes every college in the country at this point say technically they can bring their whole roster back. I don't think that's going to happen. One, because there are going to be individuals within those teams that's going to just say, hey, I'm not coming back because I want to go to the next phase in my life. Be it those seniors that want to now try to go pro, and we're talking college, right? Those seniors that are looking to go pro, though even those sophomores on the junior college level that are looking to go to 4-year schools. It may just be other athletes at the point in time and say, you know what? The time that I have to get where I need to be, right? The time that I have to become who I need to be able to get to that next level and go pro may not happen. So let me just stop while I'm ahead. So it's going to be some sophomores and juniors that just come to the reality that there are other things that I can be doing with my time at this point. And so you have to understand that it's not going to be every person on a roster of every college team in the country that comes back to that school. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be people that graduate and just go on into their careers, right? Not going to stick around and play basketball. But then the biggest point is that they're going to be those individuals that the coaches don't want back. Right? It's going to be those individuals on the teams that the coaches don't want back. Why? Because really, and I explain it in our student athlete recruitment triangle, but it's really a number of things why coaches wouldn't want athletes to come back. And one of the biggest reasons is, athlete just has a bad attitude, just not a good teammate. Because again, remember what I said? Opportunity, obstacle. Some people see obstacles, some people see opportunities. Certain student athletes, right, they're going to see obstacles in what's going on. Right? It's not going to be worth their time. They're going to, be upset. And we're human, right? We're also human. So we're wired differently. Everybody is wired differently, right? Hey, matter of fact, don't let me forget, go sign up for our email list, right? bit.ly, life and basketball. All right, bit.ly, life and basketball. There it is right there, right? Oh, no, that's the comment. We're not going to put that up yet. bit.ly /life and basketball. Get registered for the email list, right? And you get to sign up, right? You get entered into a raffle to win a free book tonight. All right. So bit.ly /life and basketball. You enter into a raffle to get a free book by signing up for the email list. All right. So let me explain this to you. And this is what I understood when I with the whole DISC assessment. And what the DISC assessment is, it's a tool, it's a scientific tool that it helps you understand your behavior preferences as well as it helps you understand your communication styles. Right? So it's a scientific tool that was originated in 1928 that helps you understand your behavior preferences and your communication styles. And the first thing that we have to know about human behavior is that there are four basic types of individuals. There are four basic types of human behaviors. There are those people that like to deal with problems. There are those people that like to interact with people on a high level. There are those people that like to do things at a nice, steady pace. And then there are those individuals that like to follow procedures and protocols. That's it. And when you can understand that, then you can understand people better. So my point is, there are going to be a lot of coaches that don't understand that, and some of their players are going to respond to the coaches differently this season than ever before. So they're going to be coaches that don't want players back either. So again, I believe that this is the perfect time for the common basketball player. I believe this is the perfect time. The common basketball player has those other things, right? That comprehension, that understanding, that drive, that push, right? Those academics. They're gonna shine. They're going to shine, right? As well as, the state of basketball. I do believe. Now hear me, parents, hear me, athletes, hear me, please. Please hear me. Please hear me. Coaches, you want to build your team around this. I promise you do. Specificity, if that's even a word, right? Specifics, right? The game of basketball is going in the direction of specifics, right? Now we talk about positionless basketball, being able to play different positions, right? Giannis can, he just, at the time of this particular taping tonight, Giannis just signed a multi-max deal to come back with his Milwaukee Bucks, right? So we're dating ourselves with this episode, but that's fine. However, right, so Giannis can shoot, step out and do all those things. However, right, what's going to separate the common man from the 5-star athlete and maybe even the 4-star athlete on a high school level, on a college level, and even on a professional level is what can they do specifically. That's going to separate it. What can they do specifically? Because coaches are now at the point to where they're looking for specifics. I'm looking for a point guard to run my team. I'm looking for a shooter. I'm looking for somebody that can rebound. I'm looking for a lockup defender. I'm looking for somebody that's good on pick and roll defense. I'm looking for a guard that can do good things on pick and roll offense. Depending on the program, depending on the coach, that's why I'm saying the athlete has to understand and they have to become that individual that the coach wants. And coaches just don't want everybody. This is where parents get frustrated. This is where athletes get frustrated. And this is where coaches get frustrated because the parents and the athletes blame the coaches and say it's the coach's fault because the coaches haven't done anything for them. And in reality, the coach has done things for them. However, the athlete on their end hasn't done anything to help the coach do something to help the athlete. All right, I'm going to say that again. It's shorter. The parents need to understand and the athletes need to understand, and I'm saying the coach needs to understand also, because when the coach don't understand, then they get blamed by the parent as well as the athlete about what the coach didn't do. And it's really not the coach's fault. It's that the athlete didn't become the person that they needed to be to get to the level that they were trying to go to. And maybe they weren't listening or paying attention to the coach. If the coach understands who that athlete is and what that athlete brings to the team. because coaches can't treat every athlete the same, and they can't say, okay, you all are guards, so I'm gonna match you all together. You all are bigs, I'm gonna match you all together. You all are swing man, I'm gonna match you all together. Right? Can't do that. But do you notice what I just did? You see how I grouped them? Specifics. What specifically can your athlete do? Athletes, what specifically can you do? What are you great at? Right? What have you mastered? When the chips are down, what is it that people look to you for? We need to stop, right? The same way that you always know, when it's a technical foul or when a player gets hurt and they have to come out, and if the coach gets to pick who they want to shoot the free throws, they know who can shoot the free throws and who can't. What can you do well? But here's how coaches can help the athletes do what they do well better. You have to know the athlete, and you have to know the strength that the athlete has, and you have to know how they prefer to behave, and then you can help communicate with them. You can help them by communicating with them in the manner in which they communicate. Because as coaches, we communicate to our athletes in the way that we communicate or the way we understand. And then we get frustrated because the athlete doesn't understand us or is not comprehending us, and we're really talking a foreign language to them. But we're grouping everybody together. But the game, now that everybody is like on the same, you see so many NCAA teams now that have gotten knocked off by what they would call mid-major teams. Well, that's because, I have that high major team, right, has some players that can't play for one reason or another. And so now the number of superior athletes, if that's less, well, now, the playing field is even, because you may have one or two superior athletes or great athletes. We may have one or two also, right? But normally you may have 6, 7, or 8, right? But now no one can really put, you can't really say, okay, well, this person going to be to play this game, this person going to be to play this game, because right now during this time of the pandemic, no one knows, if someone is going to get, infected with the virus or, God willing, no one does anymore, right? But the playing field is level. So the common athlete is going to win. So my recommendation for the common athlete, practical steps, right? One, remember, it's okay to not be okay, right? But 2, now you have to take advantage of the opportunity. It's okay to not be okay. But now recognize and take advantage of the opportunity, even if you're not okay, right? Because being not okay, that allows you to now self-assess and go into why are you not okay? Then you can move on to step 2, right? So just giving you all practical steps, just trying to give you practical steps with it, right? So the common athlete, they got to be more mental, right? Those people that study the game. Now, in terms of the brand, right? So, everybody know Bless the Ball, right? The sponsor of today's show, Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, as well as Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball, the book, and Creating the Perfect Storm. You can get your bundle. I dropped the bundle, the link for the bundle. But before I do, let me drop this. So next week, right? Next Monday, and we've been advertising this for about a month now, but December 21st and 22nd, we are doing a student athlete leadership conference, right? It's going to be a 2-day event from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. student athlete leadership conference. Now, and I'm going in the direction of my brand right now, because I talked about me, I talked about the state of basketball, and now I'm getting into my brand. We understand, bless the ball. You know the name, you know the person behind the name. But in those frustrations, right, we were not in our lane. And what our lane is, what I've done for 28 years, some of your favorite basketball players, right? My athletes, some of your favorite basketball players, even some of my parents, right? And some of my coaches, right? Some of your favorite coaches probably played for me. Some of your favorite athletes probably played for me or played against me at one point as a play as a coach, right? Um, what I've done for 20, I've been blessed for 27 years to be able to help student athletes become better producers, become better athletes, but more importantly, become better people. And when people used to always ask me, like, okay, well, what do you do? Right? I know you coach basketball, right? I'm a educational consultant. We run social emotional learning programs and character development, leadership programs within the schools, right? We're a vendor within, some of the schools. I'm a, social studies teacher, in another school. And so people say, like, what do you do? We see the basketball, you coach, but like, do you coach a team? What do you do? No, like I coach people, like really, like I coach people. I coach student athletes. And it started out with on the court, developing like physical skills, but even again, my practices going back to this whole disassessment, understanding me, right? That I move at a slower pace. I like things more organized, more steady, right? So the show sometimes will be 2.5, 3 hours long. My practices sometimes be 2.5, 3 hours long. We still didn't get through the practice plan because I'm very detailed and very analytical, right? And I understand that. And I don't like to move at a nice pace because I want to make sure that things are done well. One of the reasons why I've been very successful, not only in coaching, but in just transforming the lives of the young men and women that I've been able to be blessed to be part of their lives, is because I plan things out and I put together individualized programs within a system to be able to help them. And so when people say, okay, well, you're in the school, like, what are you, you're a dean and, you do financial education. Like, what do you, like, I can do a lot of things, but all of those things are different tools that I take and put in my toolbox because ultimately for 27 years, I've been working with the youth. The day after my high school graduation, I started working with the youth. So for 27 years, I've been doing that, and people and when I bagged up and I went into that human behavior, understanding me as a person, not just as a coach, but as a person, it helped me understand who I was as a coach also, right? Because as a coach, I know I'm a teacher. I'm not just a coach. I'm not a trainer, right? I hate that word trainer. I don't like that word trainer. I'm a teacher. That goes well beyond coach. However, it hit me and I understood what I do because it was even, with our Hoops Mastery program and, special announcement. Before I get to that special announcement, it's down there, right? You see the brand, bit.ly, life and basketball, bit.ly, life and basketball. Go get on that contact list. Everybody that subscribes tonight on that contact list gets registered to win a free book on tonight. All right, so get registered for that email list, bit.ly / life and basketball. All right, enter to win you a free book tonight. Enter to win you a free book tonight. So with our Hoops Mastery program, and we're actually putting our Hoops Mastery program to bed after 3 years, right? We're putting this program to bed, and we're awakening a whole new project that's going to be that much better than Hoops Mastery, right? So Hoops Mastery was our college recruitment program in which we help parents of student athletes save money on college by helping their student athlete get a full scholarship. Well, a lot of people thought we were a scouting service, recruiting service. That's not what we do. We're a coaching program, right? And so again, we put together individualized plans for those student athletes to help them overcome whatever challenges they're facing, right? So that they can then become the person that they need to be to play at the level in which they want to play. But to understand that they have to first become a certain person to even get recruited, even by the lowest level. So for the athletes that have not gotten recruited, and people may say, well, I live in a town where, the recruits don't come. That's a lie. Larry Bird lived in French Lick, Indiana. That's a lie. French Lick, Indiana, Larry Bird. All right. Larry the legend. And they came to French Lick. Okay. So they will come if you're worth finding. So some athletes get upset because they got Division III offers or Division II offers or junior college offers, NAIA offers, low level or mid-level Division I offers. Well, the teams that think that you can play at that level is who's offering you. So if you get a lot of Division II offers, you're probably a Division II caliber of person. Notice I didn't say athlete, I said person. If you're getting letters just from junior college, probably a reason, right? And you're probably a junior college level person. Notice again, I didn't say athlete, because here's why I didn't say athlete. And if you're taking notes, please take notes. That athlete can be a great athlete, but if they don't have grades, they're not the person that can get on another level. So they're at what they can get. Does that make sense? So what I do is I help student athletes become the recruit that they need to be for scouts, college scouts. That's what we do. And that's where our brand is streamlining and going forward in that direction, right? It's not about getting kids, to dribble through cones and, on the court. Everything that we do deals with the neck up so we can deal with the shoulders down. So the beauty of what we do, and which is why now we're doing our student athlete leadership conference, right? And you can register there, right? Our student athlete leadership conference. The reason that we're doing that December 21st and 22nd is because there are so many athletes that are average skill-wise, and there are few character-wise, leadership-wise. So where athletes are really, really competing, oh, let me be better than this person. Let me score more than this person. Let me, go at this person on the court. And that's all good. But what's going to really separate you all when two athletes are the same athletic ability? What's going to separate them? All those other things, right? And all those other things, now one person is that person that can be on that level, and one person isn't that person that can be on that level. And it may have nothing to do with physical ability. And so we understand that. So that's what our job is, right? And so again, dealing from the neck up so we can deal with the shoulders down. We're not in competition with the local trainer, because they can go to the local trainer. Athletes can go to the local trainers and get in the gym and do all of those things, because it's just not about the skill set. And when parents can understand that, when coaches can understand that, And when athletes can understand that, then they'll get where they're trying to go faster. It's not just about what you can do with the ball. It's also about what can you do without it. And that's why we're having our student athlete leadership conference, December 21st and 22nd. December 21st and 22nd. So you want to go get registered at that point. And again, so at this conference, each registrant, right? Each participant is going to they're going to be able to take the same test that I took, the same DISC assessment that I took, right? And be able to find out exactly what their behavior preferences are and what their communication styles are, as well as what their natural strengths are. So now they'll be able to take that and be able to automatically, right, leave and be able to have not only their game, but their schoolwork as well as their personal life all enhance those three things simply by taking this test and getting an understanding of what it exactly is. That's the first thing. They also get access to all our speakers as well as presenters on that day, right? We're going to have, some great people come in talking to our student athletes, helping them throughout the process, again, of becoming those individuals that they need to be to get to the level that they're trying to go, right? And then finally, each registrant will get a copy of this book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. So they'll get a copy of this book. It'll be an ebook though, right? So they'll get a copy of the ebook and they'll be able to download it on, their device and be able to read it on the go or even when they're at home. So, and right now, our early bird promo, which ended yesterday, was $97. The investment for our student athlete leadership conference is $147. And then we also have a VIP where you get a hard copy of the book, as well as we have a parent workshop in which we break down a lot of things to the parents to be able to assist parents along this whole recruitment process as well. So as well as the parents have a whole, I believe, 9-module course to be able to help them throughout the process. So the Student Athlete Leadership Conference, December 21st, 22nd, is going to be amazing. All right, you can go get registered right now at bit.ly B2BSD conference. All right, B2BSD conference. So bit.ly /B2BSD conference. Get your student athletes signed up for this leadership conference, because again, it's just not about what they can do on the court, right? But what are those skills? What are those things? What are those attributes? What are those traits that's going to be able to help them, better yet, help separate them from everybody else in their peer group, right? So that's what we're doing with the Student Athlete Leadership Conference. And again, the state of our brand is all about educating, empowering, equipping our youth, right? We want to educate our student athletes. We want to help them understand who they are as athletes as well as people, right? Educate them academically as well as socially. And then empower them to understand who they are, understand what their strengths are, what gifts they have, what they bring, not only to the game in which they play, but also to the environment in which they're in, right? What's that superpower that they have, right? So to empower them and to get them to understand that I too can be successful. And then to equip them, right? Now to give them enough of what they need to be able to send them on their way to be able now being the person that they needed to be that right recruit. Well, now we can equip them after we've educated them. And then after we've empowered them, now we can equip them with the necessary skills and things, hey, buddy, that they need to send them on to the next phase in life. And that's what Coach Carvel Bailey is all about. That's what Coach Carvel Bailey is all about. So that's the state of Coach Bailey, basketball, as well as the brand. So, Q&A right now. Q&A. Anybody got any comments, questions, concerns? Drop it in here right now. What do you think is the good thing with basketball right now? What's the bad thing with basketball? And before we get out of here, I do have some things that I want to share with you guys. Okay. All right. We see. North Carolina. Okay, Sid, I see you. I see you in North Carolina. Good. I'm glad that you're here. Ariana in Louisiana. Glad that y'all here. Hey, listen, make sure go and register, right, for our email list. Go subscribe. You see the link below, bit.ly, Life and Basketball. Get the updates on who's going to be on the show coming up before everybody else do, before I post them to Facebook. But more importantly, you enter to be able to win a free copy of my book, my first book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball, which the show derived Life and Basketball from this book, right? So it's 8 chapters, easy read, but it's a guide to effective leadership and coaching, and which is what we do, is how we help correlate both life and the game of basketball and bring them together. So we are glad to have y'all here, but make sure that you go and subscribe to that list, and be able to get, again, some special things before everybody else in the public gets them. And again, definitely, if you have a student athlete, we have a student athlete leadership conference. You all can go and get registered for that then. But I have something that I want to show you all, and which a lot of athletes don't understand, right? A lot of athletes don't understand that we have some athletes that move very, very fast. Then we have some athletes that move slower. And those that move very, very, very fast may have conflicts with the ones that move slower. And the ones that move slower may have conflicts with the ones that move very, 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 very fast. So I'll give you an example. 2, matter of fact. Derrick Rose here in Chicago. And we know Derrick Rose takes his time doing the things that Derrick does, right? Derrick kind of likes to move at a nice pace. But when Derrick got hurt, myself, along with other people, wanted Derrick to hurry up and play. And by attempting to speed up an individual that does things at a nice pace, it in turn frustrates you, gets you to act out of character, do things or say things that you don't want to do or wouldn't normally do, or just go into your shell and just go reserve. So what happened with D Rose, with Pooh, Derrick Rose, whatever you may call him, that's what he did, right? I'm not going to play. I'm not ready to play. Y'all can't make me play. But those people that's moving fast, oh, man, something wrong with him, something wrong with him. I got on my Facebook, it popped up about a week ago, right, when they was playing the Boston Celtics, and when Tibbs made a statement of like, right, you're either injured or you hurt. Well, we understand that those people that's hurt can play, those people that's injured can't. But my point is, we have those individuals that move very, very fast and those individuals that move slower. Well, when Derrick Rose did wait, he got blasted, and by me as well. But then when he came back, he still wasn't what he needed to be, because he probably wasn't ready, but was doing it because he was being sped up. And then we know what happened after that, right? In comes, that's the big domino, in comes the downfall. Fast forward a couple of years, Kawhi Leonard, the same thing. We know Kawhi moves at a nice pace, kind of just like Derrick. He gets hurt. What happens? Spurs want him to play. Spurs want him to play. Boom, boom, boom. And what happens? He resorts back, right? I'm not playing. Now his uncle talking for him or whatever, same way they said Derek brother was talking for him, because they just like, man, I'm not talking. I ain't, I'm said I'm not ready. They trying to rush me, whatever. What happens? Kawhi like doesn't play. Boom, leave. I'm out. I'm going to Toronto. I can't deal with y'all. It's stressful. And coaches sometimes don't understand that. They may have an athlete that moves slower and they're trying to speed them up, and then the athlete doesn't produce because the athlete is really stressful because now they're feeling rushed, and the coach is not able to get maximum efficiency or effectiveness out of the athlete. Is that making sense? So the coach has to know how that athlete is wired and how that athlete prefers to behave. And based on how the athlete prefers to behave, then the coach can learn how to communicate in that style or that language that that person behaves like. Because you just can't speed up a person that goes slow. And you sure can't slow down a person that just speed fast. You ever seen a guard just go at one speed, you try to slow them down? They're going to travel. All right. So we have to understand based on who we're dealing with. Some move fast, some move slow. But also we have to understand that with that, there are two different forms of communication. And there's verbal communication and there's nonverbal. So before we leave tonight, all right, and I definitely, okay, Charles Lee, you are here from Jersey, my man. Make sure that y'all definitely go subscribe to the newsletter. But if you have an athlete, pull your athlete onto your phone, onto your Facebook, whatever. And if this is your first time catching the show, we welcome you. We appreciate you. This is season 5, right? First day or the first episode of season 5. We've been doing this now for 4 years. But definitely this is a professional and personal development show for athletes, coaches, and parents of student athletes. Definitely, so your athlete will enjoy this. But pull them around, pull them around, because I want to show them this video, because a lot of times they have trouble communicating with their teammates. But again, they have to understand if their teammate is that person that moves fast or that person that moves slow. Now, in other terms, they would call that an extrovert or introvert, right? But most athletes may not know exactly what they prefer to be naturally. But when we learn to communicate, we can then communicate in the language of the person we're talking to. And when athletes understand this, that's why I said the state of basketball, the common athlete right now, because these 5-star athletes, nothing against them. And even them, right? They're going to need something that's going to put them on another level and another plane from everybody else. And how do you do that? You do that by understanding who you are. All right. So I want y'all to check this out right here.
When you get past the DB and you ready for the ball, what are you supposed to do? What does Coach Brown told you to do? Right? So, what he just did is a form of what?
Nonverbal.
Nonverbal communication. So, do we understand that there is a nonverbal communication and there has to also be a what? Verbal communication. Because if you and Corey out in the street and y'all playing like touch in the street, y'all in the street and you get past me, you probably gonna raise your hand, but you know that he can also what? So you gonna make sure he gets it, right? And so you gonna do this, but you also gonna say what? So listen to what I'm saying, y'all. Communication takes repetition. So if you gonna communicate with him to give you the ball, you get practice communicating by talking, doing everything that you do. Does that make sense?
Did that make sense to y'all? Did anybody had an athlete watch that? Anybody had an athlete watch that? Or any takeaways before we get out of here? Is there any takeaways on this video? Coach Evans, I see you. It's time that we do this, man, and we bless the people. It's time that we do this. So I'm gonna definitely, or actually, send me your number, Jay. Send me your number. Inbox me your number. But anybody have any takeaways? Anybody got any takeaways from that video? Does your athlete have any takeaways from that video? Communication, right? How do we communicate, and more so, how do we comprehend based on the communication? All right. So before we go, I'm gonna go check this list. Let's see who all we got on this list. We had anybody subscribe to the list since we've been. Okay. Got a Jay Robinson. All right, New Jersey recruit, Clove 519. All right. Let's make it happen. I was supposed to have my daughter do it, but we're going to do it the easy way. So we got J-Rod. We got New Jersey. So I'm going to cut it off in 1 minute, y'all. All right, go bit.ly/life and basketball. Sign up to the email list. Get registered to win this copy of this book, Clove. So we got 3 right now. We're going to fold them up. All right, this live TV. Live TV. We're going to fold them up. One more. I'm going to go check one more time. Anybody want to get in? Want to get in? Get in. Try. Dropping 1. Dropping 2. Dropping 3. Go check the list one more time. See if we got any new subscribers to the list. New subscribers to the list. Okay. Ice Mike. Ice Mike just made it, baby. Gonna give away a book. It's gonna help. It's gonna help you or your athlete, baby. All right. Here we go. For copy of this right here. Copy of this. All right, I'm gonna do it on camera in front of y'all. You see, I can't see. See, I can't see. I got 1. Excuse me. J-Rod. All right. So, listen, we will be back Thursday, right? We'll be back Thursday. So again, season 5, we are all brand new. So let's not forget those 3 points, right? So the first point is it's okay to not be okay. All right. The second point is you have to be able to self-assess where you are so that you can go to where you got to go. Right? So the first step is to it's okay to not be okay. The second step is to then self-assess where you are at that moment. And then the third step is to figure out what's one thing that you can do to help you get one step closer. It's okay to not be okay. That's the first step. Don't walk around with it all on you. Right? Assess. So like me, I had to understand it's okay not to be okay. Right? Civil unrest, pandemic, everything going on. My family, I want to protect them, do everything that, we need to do, right, for us. I can't carry it all. So it's okay not being okay. And I had to understand that. But then I had to self-assess and understand where I was and where I was trying to go. Where I was and where I was trying to go. Then from that point, then you have to do one thing that can get you one step closer to that goal each and every day. One thing that's going to get you one step closer to reaching that goal each and every day. So when you come out your rut and say, okay, look, it's okay not to be okay, I'm done with that. I'm over that. And let me assess where I'm at, right? The state of basketball. Athletes need to assess where they are and assess where they're trying to go. Because they're going to have to become that individual to get to where they want to go. Because if they was already that individual, they'd already be there. So the state of basketball, the common athlete is going to win the next couple of years. And it's really going to be those individuals that really understand who they are and what they bring to the game and to every aspect of their life in any environment that they're in. Them going to be the ones that's going to win on a rapid level. Assess and adapt. Assess and adjust. And the third step. Hold on. The third step is do one thing that's going to get you one step closer to that goal each and every day. Now you got to take action, right? When you realize where you want to go, now you got to take action. Now you got to do one thing each and every day. Just one thing each and every day is going to get you closer to that thing that you're trying to hit each and every day. And I assure you, to my parents, I'm going to sit up now. I assure you to my parents, I assure you, if you help your student athlete understand these three things, that the first thing that they have to understand that it is okay to not be okay. It's okay to not know where they're going, right? It's okay to be lost. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be intimidated. It's okay to like have low confidence on the court. It's okay to like overthink. It's okay to like not be confident in themselves. It's okay that they don't make all the jump shots. It's okay. It's okay. Because if you make it more than what it is, now you're going to take the fun out of it. Does that make sense? When you make it more than what it is, now you take the fun out of it. Oh, you missed all them shots. Oh, you did that. Right now, the game becomes a chore. To too many of our athletes, the game has become a chore, right? I'm starting to build up a little more energy now, right? But now the game becomes a chore when you're doing it for reasons other than why you want to do it. So now the game is a chore to a lot of athletes out here. And I don't think people understand that they've turned the game into a chore for their student athlete, or they turn the game into a chore for their athletes. The game got to be fun. So it's okay that they throw a turnover. But now after that turnover, after that game, now let's assess. Let's assess. You say you want to go to college, right? Okay, go to college, throw them turnovers, boss. You can't go to college throwing them turnovers. It's okay. It's okay the first time, right? You had 5 turnovers this game. Hey, live and you learn. We ain't gonna harp on it, right? I ain't gonna just condemn you. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know that you should have did better. But okay, you got that out the way. Hey, it's okay. If we learn from it, though, right? It's okay if we learn from it. And you learn from it by self-assessing. Does that make sense? So it's okay to not be okay. It's okay that, you didn't do as well as you wanted to do. It's okay that you came up short. It's okay that you went overboard, maybe. But now let's assess. Where are we at? How did we get here? Who really are we? And where are we trying to go? Right? Or where are we at? How did we get here? Where are we trying to go? Right? Where are we at? Turnovers. How do we get here? I ain't been working on my ball handling. So that's where we at. 5 turnovers after the game. How do we get here? I ain't been working on my ball handling. Where do you want to be in college? So who are you? Right now, I'm somebody that turns the ball over 5 times a game. But that's okay because now I know it, right? Now I know it. Now I can change it. Now I can fix it. Because I just assessed what happened, why it happened. I ain't been working on my ball handling. And where am I trying to go to college? So now what is it that I have to do? What's that one thing that I got to do every day? What's that one thing I got to do every day to be able to get me one step closer to where I'm trying to go? Maybe I just need to pick the ball up every day. Because maybe I'm only playing, 3-4 days a week. Maybe I'm not playing as much as I could be playing now, let's say during the pandemic. So maybe I just need to pick the ball up more. That's one thing each and every day. And as I pick it up more, now I can sit down in my chair and start dribbling it, right? Those 3 steps. It's okay not to be okay. But now you got to step back and self-assess. And then you got to put that plan in place and do something every day that's going to push the envelope. And I think if your student athlete does that, they'll hit their goals and what they're trying to hit, right? And if they get confused and caught up, right? And if y'all would like our help, then you can definitely reach out to us because that's what we do. We help athletes become the individuals that they need to be able to get recruited. And understanding that we get recruited in every aspect of our lives, right? We get recruited in our relationships with our wives or with our husbands, whatever, right? We get, recruited on jobs. We get recruited on teams. So we got to become that person that needs to be recruited. All right, come here, Triss. Come here. Trissa, come here. So I want to do this, right? Since we live on the air, right? I want y'all to see my boy because tomorrow is his birthday, right? Tomorrow he turns. How old you turn tomorrow? 4. 4. Hold it up. 4. Can you hold up 4? 4. Tomorrow it'll be 4. All right. So, yep, there you go. You're saying 4. Tomorrow he'll be 4. So y'all can drop some HBDs in the chat. Some happy birthday, some happy New Year's, right? To my Prince KJ, right? KJ the Prince. So y'all definitely drop some happy birthdays in there to my man, to my little man. Yep, this is the night before 4. The night before. No, you can't have that. The night before, because that's hot. The night before 4. So, all right, buddy, go ahead. So, again, so we gave away a book today, and we gave y'all 3 practical steps, right? We gave y'all 3 practical steps. Tristan, Pooh Man said happy birthday. Pooh Man said happy birthday. To you, yeah. Say happy birthday, Tristan. So here's what I want to present before we go to all my coaches out here, right? You already know that we have our student athlete leadership conference going on next Monday and Tuesday, December 21st and 22nd. If you have 4 or more athletes that would like to attend, right? So the rate is or the investment right now is $147. You already know what they get. They get a copy of the ebook, right? They get access to all the conferences and workshops, as well as they get to take their personal DIS assessment to be able to understand their behavior preferences and their communication styles. And so if you have 4 or more athletes, this is now, as coaches, you're working smart, not hard, because now you're now outsourcing and allowing for somebody else to pour into your athletes. So now they can hear a different voice other than yours, right? They can probably hear the same message or most of the same message, because basketball is universal, right? So now they're getting all of that and you didn't have to do it, right? All that you had to do was point them in the direction of the resources to do it. So if you have 4 more student athletes, then I have a package for you. If you have 4 more student athletes, so just reach out to me. But if you just have an individual athlete and you want to get them registered, right? What a great Christmas gift. A gift that keeps on giving information, right? Because somebody passed it on to me. And I'm passing it on, and then the people receiving it will be able to pass it on also. So, you all can definitely go and get registered for our conference. Again, that's bit.ly/B2BSD conference. So, hey, it's been a good one. We got some things accomplished. So again, those 3 practical steps. 1, it's okay not to be okay, right? 2, assess it, right? Because 1, if we make people think it's not okay to be not okay, then we're saying that we're not human. And we have to get our athletes, right? We have to get our players, even our kids, to understand that we're human too. And we understand that they're human as well. So we have to, again, be able to communicate with others in the way in which they communicate. And we can't be like, what's wrong with you? Right? So it's okay to not be okay. But now let's assess where we are, right? How do we get here? Where are we trying to go? And then who are we? And how do we get there? And then once we figure that out in step 2, now we can come up with a plan. And now it's about executing the plan. And what is one thing that we can do each and every day along the path to achieve that goal and become the recruit, the person that we need to be to play on the level in which we need to play on. Because colleges are still out here recruiting heavy. Trust me. All right. So with that being said, I hope you got something from this show. All right. So we got our leadership conference. We got you here registered. And again, if you need our help applying any of those 3 practical steps, definitely reach out to us. And also you all can go check out so I just did a brand new case study, right? You can go check that out here at BeTheRightRecruit.com. BeTheRightRecruit.com. See, because parents a lot of times think that, athletes need a lot of different offers. You don't need a lot of different offers in this game. All you need is one, the right offer. All right. You don't need a lot of offers. I see parents getting frustrated. Yeah, 10, they got 3 offers, they got 15 offers. Hey, listen. You only need one offer. That is the right offer, right? So what is it that, this is what we've been talking about all night, right? The state of the brand, right? How do we get there and what's one step, right? Well, the same thing that we're doing and we're implementing, not only, that we've done for ourselves, but we're also doing for our clients and our athletes. So we're helping them to become the right recruit for these scouts. So BeTheRightRecruit.com, go check out that free training. And if you like our help with anything, then definitely schedule an appointment and apply to work with us. And from there, we will talk to you all on the next show. Remember, as I always say, right? Strive for the top. Always, always, always keep striving for the top, because it is crowded as hell at the bottom. Y'all be cool now. Till next time. Peace.
When you get past the DB and you ready for the ball, what are you supposed to do? What does Coach Brown told you to do? Right? So, what he just did is a form of what? Nonverbal communication. So do we understand that there is a nonverbal communication and there has to also be a what? Verbal communication. Because if you and Corey out in the street and y'all playing like touch in the street, y'all in the street and you get past me, you probably gonna raise your hand, but you know that he can also what? So you gonna make sure he gets it, right? And so you gonna do this, but you also gonna say what? So listen to what I'm saying, y'all. Communication takes repetition. So if you gonna communicate with him to give you the ball, you get practice communicating by talking, doing everything that you do. Does that make sense?
Peace, y'all.